Wasco County, Oregon, September 1984. The county hospital is overwhelmed. By the end of the month, 751 people in this quiet farming stretch of America will be violently ill. Cramps, fever, bloody diarrhea. 45 end up admitted. Nobody dies, but only just barely. At first, health officials assume it's just bad hygiene at a local restaurant. Then they realise 10 different restaurants are involved. They realise the salad bars at every one of them have been deliberately seeded with salmonella. This is the largest bioterror attack ever carried out on American soil. It continues to be the largest attack to this day, and it was carried out by a group of meditators in red robes. To understand how a wellness commune ended up running a bioweapons program, you have to go back to India in the 1970s, to a charismatic philosophy professor named Chandra Mohan Jain. He goes by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. He's prolific, magnetic, and openly contemptuous of organised religion. He preaches a blend of Eastern mysticism, Western psychology, and unrestrained sexual freedom. People love it. By 1974, he's running an ashram in Pune, attended by thousands of Westerners. Therapists, artists, trust fund kids, a few minor celebrities. They wear orange, they take new Sanskrit names, they give him their savings, and in return, he gives them wisdom, attention, photographs. By 1980, Rajneesh has a problem. The Indian tax authority is auditing him. Local police are tired of the lawsuits. His ashram has outgrown its welcome. So in 1981, his closest deputy, a sharp-tongued woman named Ma Anand Sheila, quietly buys 64,000 acres of high desert in Wasco County, Oregon, and tells him to come. The land is called the Big Muddy Ranch. It's 3 hours from the nearest city. The neighbours are cattle, sagebush, and a town of 40 people called Antelope. On paper, it's perfect. In practice, however, the cult is about to make an enemy of every rancher within 100 miles. Within a year, the Rajneeshees build a city. Not a commune, a city. Rajneeshpuram has paved roads, a sewage system, a fire department, a 4,400-foot airstrip, a casino, a disco, a shopping mall, an enormous greenhouse, and its own bus line. They rezone Antelope over the objections of every original resident. They rename the town Rajneesh. They bus in 7,000 followers from around the world, and the Bhagwan, who has taken a vow of silence, sits in the back of one of his 93 Rolls Royces and waves. Locals are not charmed. There are zoning lawsuits. There are land use complaints. There are armed Rajneeshi security patrols on the perimeter of the ranch with semi-automatic rifles. Antelope, a town of 40, is now governed by a city council of strangers in red robes. The general store becomes a vegetarian cafe called Zorbat the Buddha. The original residents leave one by one until the post office is the last unconverted building in town. The ones who stay are spied on. Mail goes missing. Cars get vandalised. One elderly woman puts up a sign that reads, "Better dead than red," and finds herself shadowed by a Rajneeshi security car for a week. For ranchers and retirees in eastern Oregon, this is something close to an invasion. They've never seen anything like it, because nobody has. There's no precedent in American history for a foreign religious leader's deputy buying a county-sized parcel of land and turning it into a private city. Running the entire operation day to day is Sheila. She handles the money, the press, the legal team, and the Bhagwan's calendar. She is, by every account, terrifying. She is also pragmatic in a way her boss is not. Where Rajneesh wants enlightenment, Sheila wants control of the county. Wasco County is run by a 3-person board of commissioners. Whoever controls it controls the land use decisions that decide whether Rajneeshpuram lives or dies. In 1984, 2 of those seats are up for election. The Rajneeshees do the math. Their followers, 7,000 strong, would obliterate the entire local electorate, except that most of them aren't US citizens. So Sheila tries the obvious thing first. She offers the Share a Home program, bussing in roughly 4,000 homeless people from cities across America with the offer of food, shelter and a ballot. The state catches on, requires in-person voter registration interviews, and the plan collapses inside a month. Sheila by now has already begun working on Plan B. Back at the ranch, she has assembled what she calls a medical lab. On paper, it exists to support the commune's clinic. In practice, a small team of trusted insiders is culturing pathogens. They start by ordering bacteria through the mail from a legitimate American medical supplier. Among the strains that arrive in the post, Salmonella typhimurium. It's the bacteria that gives you food poisoning. In a healthy adult, it's miserable. In a child or an elderly person, it can be fatal. Sheila's idea is straightforward. If enough Wasco County residents are too sick to leave the house on election day, the Rajneeshee candidates win. The cult takes the county becomes the cult. In late summer of 1984, they decide to test it. On August 29th, 2 cult members visit a county commissioner at his office and offer him a glass of water. He drinks it. He is violently ill within hours. The same day, a second commissioner is handed a similar glass of water at a public event. He too is soon very sick. It works. Now they need to scale. They drive into the Dalles, the largest town in Wasco County. They walk into 10 different restaurants, a Shakey's Pizza, a Taco Time, a Perkins, a McDonald's, a handful of family diners. They go to the salad bars. They pour brown liquid from small plastic squeeze bottles onto the lettuce, the dressing ladles, the coffee creamer and the salsa. They wipe it across the rims of pitchers. They contaminate the produce at a grocery store. They visit a county building and try to dose the public water cooler. They get back in their cars and go home. The first reports come in within 72 hours. Families, couples on a date night, a judge, a truck driver passing through, a pregnant woman who will spend a week in the hospital. The Dalles has one main hospital. By the end of September, every bed in it is occupied by someone who ate a salad. By September 24th, the county hospital is full. Health officials run every test they can think of. The strain is Salmonella typhimurium. Unusual, but not impossible. Then they realise it's the same strain across all 10 restaurants. Salads from different farms, prep cooks from different kitchens, all carrying the identical bacterial fingerprint. The CDC arrives. They interview 751 patients. They map every meal. Their official conclusion in early 1985 is that it was probably poor hygiene at the salad bars, probably an unfortunate cluster. The Rajneeshees, watching this from the ranch, can hardly believe their luck. They got away with it for about a year. Inside the cult, things are unravelling. Rajneesh has come out of his vow of silence and is, increasingly, holding his own press conferences. He hires a personal physician, a personal dentist, and a new circle of attendants who answer to him and not to Sheila. Sheila has fewer levers to keep him in check. She begins, by some accounts, to spiral. There are rumours of a hit list. The names on it allegedly include the US Attorney for Oregon, an Oregon state official, the Bhagwan's new physician, and a defector named Helen Byron who is suing the cult for fraud. There are rumours of a plan to crash a small plane into the Wasco County Courthouse on the day of the trial. Members are quietly leaving in 2s and 3s, some of them on foot, in the middle of the night, hitchhiking out of the ranch with whatever they can carry. In September 1985, Sheila herself flees to Europe with about 20 of her closest deputies. The day after she leaves, the Bhagwan calls a press conference and accuses Sheila of running a criminal organisation behind his back. He invites the FBI onto the ranch. He says she has poisoned people. He says she has tapped his phones. He says she has planned to assassinate the US Attorney for Oregon, and he says she has been running an illegal laboratory. Most of this turns out to be true. He insists, of course, that he had no idea. When the FBI walks onto the property, they find the lab. It's a small clinical building tucked at the back of the ranch, marked as a medical facility, equipped with the kind of incubators and centrifuges that don't belong in a wellness commune. They find vials of salmonella. They find a copy of the anarchist cookbook. They find wiretaps spliced into the phone lines of nearly every major building, including the Bhagwan's own quarters. They find blueprints of attack plans against federal officials, complete with names, addresses and movements. They find a freezer with a label that reads salmon, and inside, no salmon, only stock cultures of bacteria. The CDC matches the salmonella in the lab to the salmonella in the salad bars. The match is exact. The official explanation changes overnight. It was never bad hygiene, it was an attack. Sheila is arrested in West Germany. She's extradited, pleads guilty to attempted murder, assault, wiretapping and product tampering. She is sentenced to 20 years. She serves 29 months and is released for good behaviour. She moves to Switzerland and opens 2 nursing homes. The Bhagwan, who has been arrested for trying to flee the country on a chartered jet with a suitcase of cash and a small arsenal, pleads guilty to immigration fraud. He pays a $400,000 fine, is deported and is refused entry by 21 countries before crawling back to India. He dies in 1990. The cause of death is recorded as heart failure. His followers, however, maintain to this day that he was poisoned by the United States government. The city of Rajneeshpuram is sold off in pieces. Today, the land is a Christian youth camp. Most of the buildings have been torn down. The disco is gone, the airstrip is overgrown. Antelope is back to 40 people and a post office. 751 people were poisoned. None of them died, which has more to do with luck than it did with intent. Children and the elderly were amongst the worst hit. Some of them never fully recovered. The Dows spent years processing what had been done to it. The United States spent years pretending it hadn't happened. For nearly 2 decades, every federal report on bioterrorism quietly admitted the largest bioterror attack in American history. It didn't fit the narrative. The attackers weren't foreign. They weren't extremists in any familiar sense. They were Americans technically, in orange robes, who wanted control of a county election and were willing to poison a town to get it. It's an uncomfortable fact, and uncomfortable facts get filed in the back drawer. But the lab existed, the bacteria existed, the salad bars existed, the hospital records existed. And somewhere in Switzerland, a woman who once ran a city of 7,000 people now runs a nursing home and rarely talks about Oregon.